everyone, and welcome to the video. And I'm sure we're all having a lot of thoughts about current events. My thoughts on the election are pretty simple. I'm scared. I could fill the whole video with screams, but that would be pretty useless. Now, some say that it's overdramatic, but you don't see me rioting at the Capitol, so I would say this is, fine, and we're not the ones being overdramatic, but, Instead, you see me ruminating on my thoughts peacefully, I may add, and fearing for my well-being. The results have certainly made me trust men a lot less, and I didn't even think that was possible. If Biden could win against Trump because that many people hated Trump more than they hated Biden, why couldn't Harris have won? I have one simple answer for you. She's a woman, and apparently people hate women more than felons, which is crazy, but that's the life of a woman. She was literally more qualified to be president, and not a felon, but here we are. You know that meme where it's like, what's worse, a rapist or a child? And they go, a child. I'll play it.
One thing worse than a rapist, boom, a child. No.
That's basically what this is. What's worse, a rapist or a woman? And apparently people chose the woman. That's crazy to me. And you know what's crazy? I really thought she would win, but I guess my hope for humanity was too high. They would rather have women lose access to healthcare than have a female president as well. They will regret all of this because Project 25 does not just make women lose access to abortion, it makes them lose access to birth control and Plan B. So bye-bye sex for the opposite sex. So there's no way that women are willingly going to trust a man to wrap it before he taps it. Especially with the way y'all voted. Of course, those who vote against our rights to choose will feel it's their right to sexually assault us. Especially with that one audio that's going around from a podcast that says, your body, my choice.
Hey bitch, we control your bodies. Guess what? Guys win again. And there will never, ever be a female president. Never! There will never be a female president, ever! We will keep you down forever. You will never control your own bodies. You will never be the president of the global empire. Never gonna happen, sweetie. Your body, our choice.
Okay, I'm gonna throw up. So that's terrifying. I'm not really sure how people can hate women so much. Could you imagine saying that to a little girl, that there's never ever gonna be a female president? Can you imagine saying it to your daughter, to your sister? I mean, you shouldn't have to imagine someone else, but I can't imagine ever feeling that way against someone, to hate someone that much. According to RAINN.org, a famous organization for helping victims of sexual assault, 1 out of 6 American women have experienced rape. There are exceptions for rape and incest, but these would be incredibly inaccessible in states that banned abortion because there would be no one to perform the procedure, plus the doctor could face jail time if there isn't evidence of the assault. And women are scared to come forward because 1, nobody believes them, and 2, it's just a really hard thing to say out loud, and by the time you come to terms with it, the evidence is erased. You're not even allowed to shower, you're not allowed to change your clothes, you have to go straight to the hospital after the event. You have to process that. Aren't you gonna want to wash your hands before I just don't understand how you can get proof. And that's the thing. If you can't get proof, you can't get an abortion. So, yeah. What doctor will be willing to face jail time for a person they don't know? One thing you'll notice I didn't mention was exceptions for emergencies like ectopic pregnancy or an incomplete miscarriage. Both can lead to sepsis and death. I didn't mention an exception for it because there are no exceptions, and doctors can face jail time for doing the procedure. Women have already died from cases like this in states where it's banned. As you can see, this affects us all. Gender-affirming care will also be extremely hard to access, especially with the defunding of Planned Parenthood. Unfortunately, a lot of people are transphobic and will not care that this will cause high rates of suicide, so I'm going to let you in on a secret about gender-affirming care. It's not just for transgender people. There are men on testosterone for health disorders like hypogonadism, which is extremely common. So hey, straight white men, this affects you too. So maybe you'll care now, because, you could get really sick. As a disabled woman, I'm scared for my access to healthcare. Insurance prices will be increased for those with pre-existing conditions. Project 2025 proposes to cut Medicaid, which gives disabled people access to medication, hospital visits, and their homes. Without these, disabled people will become homeless or die without access to medication. Project 2025 also proposes cuts to education. Guess what goes first? 504 and IEPs, programs for students with disabilities. Without these accommodations, it makes education inaccessible to disabled people. The graduation rate for disabled youth will severely plummet, and it's already pretty low. Federal funding houses will be cut, leading to homelessness to be higher than it already is, and it's at an extreme high already, as well as cutting the Department of Education. This will cut out FAFSA, the main reason people can afford to go to college, when most people can't afford to go to college already as it is. FAFSA is the only way they can go. So this will make college inaccessible to minorities and to most anyone that isn't rich. As many of us know already, America is very inaccessible, especially for those with disabilities, yet Project 2025 also plans to cut funding for public transit, including buses, sidewalks, and pedestrian signals. You cannot tell me this isn't a direct attack to end disabled people's lives. Especially with the end of food stamps as well, because a lot of times you have such restrictive eating because of your disorder and or disability, and you have to be very specific with what you eat, and for some reason in America, all healthy food costs an exorbitant amount of money, but junk food is very cheap. With the help of food stamps, you can afford healthy food. Without, you're stuck on junk food, and that will of course make your condition worse. But I mean, that's not really the worst problem we're facing, because we'll be houseless or jobless, because the Department of Education also funds vocational rehab, which helps disabled people maintain work through accommodations, and vocational rehab job coaches them, teaches them how to work, and also gets them the accommodations they need so they can go to work. So they will also not be able to work, and will also be educationalists due to the fact that there will be no accommodations, 504 or IEP, due to the cut in education funding. So yeah, you can't convince me this isn't a direct attack on disabled and women and minorities of all kind. It's cutting them off from the world through public transit, through going to school, to just leaving the house, to receiving medical care that keeps them alive. You cannot tell me this isn't a direct attack. If you still support Trump after all this, after he threatens women, queer people, and disabled people's lives, I don't want to speak to you. I don't even want to see you. A known rapist was elected president, and I am scared. All I know is you care more about the price of groceries more than humans, and I think you're despicable. I wish there was a brighter way to talk about this, but it's not. There's nothing I can change about the facts that this is the world right now, and it's negative and it's scary, and we have a right to be scared. And we have a right to be angry. We have a right to cry. And this isn't overdramatic, because this is the world we're living in. All I can say is stay alive and don't let this man make us hide like he's trying to. by cutting disabled people off from the world, by making trans youth want to hide. He cannot erase us because people like us have existed since the beginning of time. He may not believe that, but we're literally in the Greek myths. There's Greek gods who change their body on a whim. There's Greek gods who are disabled. He says this is a new thing, people who are trans and are becoming disabled. He says this like this is news, like the left is making this happen. Well, it's not. It's been like this since the beginning of time, and you can't change that. And I've lost friends over stuff like this. I've been unfollowing people that I thought cared about me, but if you don't care about problems like this and you just care over groceries, then no, I don't want to be your friend, and no, you will never be my friend. And I don't care if I lose friends over this. Yeah, I'll be sad, but I don't want somebody in my life that cares more about groceries than they do my lifespan. So, thank you for watching this video. I hope you learned something. I hope you appreciate those around you who support you, and stick around because it won't always be like this forever. And please reach out to those ones who need help, and if you need help, please reach out to warm hotlines, which are ones that will not call police, and I'll leave them in the links and I'll show them at the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all stay alive and you stay weird and you stay your authentic self. Stay safe.